Joel, I want to run some numbers by you here. Davis Thompson wins the John Deere Classic at 28 under. Scotty Scheffler won the Travellers, 22 under. Cam Davis was lagging by comparison. He won in Detroit, the Rocket Mortgage, at 18 under. 2 of those 3 weeks also saw 59 shot on the PGA Tour. A, does the 59 carry the weight that it used to carry as a symbol of excellence in this game? And B, do the fans deserve something better or more interesting than just a 25 under birdie shootout every week?
Well, on the first point, I don't think the 59 carries the same weight. I think there have been, 14 sub-60 rounds in PGA Tour history, and 8 of those have happened in the past 8 years. That's not counting Bryson's 58 at West Virginia a year ago. Looking at this past week, Deere Run, that was a course designed specifically for tour players not that long ago, and it's already hilariously outdated. And if you're looking for why, I think Jordan Spieth partially gave us the answer earlier in the week when he talked about it's not just the ball that's going far; it's that you can have the miss hit that goes just as far as a hit right on the center. Clearly, distance is an issue, but I think the same sentiment goes for irons and even to an extent the wedges as well. We rarely see anything more than 8 iron in these guys' hands on the approach. The 3 through 6 irons have become borderline extinct. I think there's also something you've said for how the courses have been set up. The tour doesn't want to upset its membership, and I think they acquiesce to presenting a test that's more scoreable than demanding. Really, only the Memorial gets away with presenting a tough test on an annual basis, and even then, you still hear players grumble about what Jack puts them through. So, to answer your second point, I think it's a shame because I think this is unintentionally hurting the tour product. I think the easier the conditions are, the harder it is to decipher a good performance from a great performance. I think if the tour wants to have its best players in the mix more, or to just identify the best golfers on a more routine basis, I think the tougher setups are the answer to it.
Taylor, what do you think? Don't we should just tip our cap to the greatness of the players? This is the 3rd time there have been multiple sub-60 rounds in the same season. 2010, it was Paul Goydes and Stuart Appleby. 2017, it was Justin Thomas. And 9 days later, it was Adam Hadwin. And now we have Springer and Young. How much is it just kind of players dragging off each other, all out the Roger Bannister breaking the 4-minute mile?
I think there's some of that, and I was reading the bottom line on Golf Channel today that the 4th ever 59 was 14 years ago today. By what you just referenced, Paul Goydos, we've had 10 of them, Damon, in the last 14 years. So we've had a bunch of them that have all been happening, and obviously we've had a couple in the last few weeks, with Springer doing it this past weekend and Cameron Young doing it the weekend before. Now, I will say, if it's ball in hand and or it's dry or it's wet, soft conditions, I don't know that I would put an asterisk next to it, but it certainly isn't as challenging to do it as it is, say, in tougher conditions where you are not having the ball in your hand and it's dry, firm, and fast. But nevertheless, none of this bothers me. We should be all for bringing more of the casual fans into the game. And if they want to see a bunch of birdies happen each and every week, then so be it. Ideally, the purists that are on this screen right now may want to see less birdies. Mr. Doom and Gloom, Eamon Lynch, who's going to...
I want them all to play like me, Taylor.
Who's going to his Doom and Gloom paradise next week to Europe where the sun never shines. Look, that's fine. But I think that we need to capture the casual fan as much as we can. And if that means we have to see a bunch of birdies and see 25 under win, quote unquote, regular PGA Tour events, so be it.
Well, nothing seems to attract fans like the Ryder Cup. The United States expected to announce its captain tomorrow. We'll carry it live on Golf Channel. Joel, what would you like to see? A captain that kind of has been in the club, as it were, been an assistant captain? Or do you want to see the United States kind of think outside the box and bring in an unexpected voice?
Yeah, certainly the latter. I think the task force from 10 years ago has become the very thing it was trying to combat. And it was abundantly clear that the U.S. needs a wake-up call after that drubbing in Rome. I know there's no game plan or a game plan that guarantees success. But if you're selling that this U.S. team will be different to fans, I think you need to have an avatar for the emotions that they have for the Ryder Cup that optically, at least, the American players have lacked. So I think in that same breath, the PGA of America, they're aware of the criticism that you just touched upon, that it's become a go-to boys club. I mean, a great way to combat that stigma is to bring in someone from the outside who doesn't know the secret password to the club. It will be interesting to see the pick tomorrow. I mean, if you're talking outside the box, I'm pulling for Michael Block. I think that'd really be a real concern. But other than that, we'll see who the call is.
Taylor, are you on the same page as Joel here that
Yes.
there is a need to kind of break up this, at least the perception of a boys' club where they've been crowdsourcing the captaincy over the last decade?
Yeah, I think there needs to be more creativity with this pick. Look, if Tiger Woods accepts the position, then that's one thing. He absolutely deserves to have the first crack at this. And if he doesn't want to do it, then I do think they need to be rather creative with who the selection is, which we will all find out tomorrow. I'm of the opinion that they should go that route, that would be a better choice even than Tiger Woods for this Ryder Cup. And I think Tiger probably agrees with that. I think that Tiger would prefer to be the Ryder Cup captain at Deere Manor upcoming in 3 years, where there's not as much of the spotlight, some more of a remote location, and he doesn't have to worry about all the publicity that comes with New York in that market. And if that's the case, then yes, be creative with the selection. And I think Joel said it perfectly there with having an outside-the-box sort of selection. I think that if that's the case, then all 12 of the people that are playing on the team are, I don't want to say walking on eggshells, but they have they realize they're not the captain and that they can't influence the captain and that the person that's calling the shots will be respected. And I just don't know that there was enough of that. Going into it, I thought Zach Johnson would do a great job in Italy. It didn't work out, and maybe some of those relationships that he had going into it were part of the reason why. But I would fully support the PGA of America if they were creative with this pick.
Can't wait to see what turns out to be the official call tomorrow. Since we're in Scottish season, guys, quick last question for you. What is the most fun golf course in Scotland? Taylor?
Ooh. Man, what a good question. I'm going to go North Berwick. That's the most fun course I played over there. There's some like Muirfield or the Old Course that may garner some more attention, but North Berwick's the most fun golf course I've played over in Scotland.
Joel?
For me, my heart's at Brora. If you're going to make the trip to Dornick, it's a little spot that has just a lot of charm, very open, even for you, Eamon. It's just a lot of fun. I think it really kind of gets back to the spirit and soul of the game, and it's just a lot of good fun.
The correct answer actually is Cruden Bay. I'm surprised neither of you brought it up, but it's very funky and quirky, but it's the essence, in my opinion, of links golf. Eamon, you can't.
Are you taking us there?
Yeah, I'll take you there. I know some people at Cruden Bay. Eamon, what's your call?
I'm with Taylor on this one. I'd play the last 6 holes at North Berwick in a loop for the rest of my life and never be bored. They just need to kind of widen those fairways a little bit.
No doubt.
Yeah.